signal fires. Just not me.
Well, this looks grim.
You heard the angel's command. Let the call sound forth. Bastion's keep shall not fall.
Grim indeed. But hey, speaking of grim things, what's about the Thieves' Secret, which opened up once we hit into Act 3?
Tell me more of your brother. Tell me the truth.
We used to be a team. I'd tip him off to some of the Thieves Guild's hits. He'd bring in the guards and play it off like it was a lucky catch. But one time he showed up too early.
When you robbed the Merchants Guild bank.
None other. Some of the guards became suspicious. They thought he was involved. And he's been rotting in a cell in Kingsport ever since. I managed to escape.
And you feel responsible?
I don't know what I feel anymore.
Uh-huh. Responsible for the jailing of your brother. You know, he wasn't too bad. I mean, you think about it. He was tipping him off to Thieves Guild's activities. So, I mean, it was like an undercover. He was doing undercover work, but, I mean, they didn't know about it was happening.
Gotta go, martyr.
You are that frightened mayor from New Tristram. What are you doing here?
Cruel fortune has left me as a lowly merchant once again. And now I'm minutes away from slaughter by the demonic hordes. Please, escort me out of here. I will pay anything.
There is nothing you can pay me that will excuse abandoning these people. How many lessons must you learn before you listen?
I don't remember going over that one, so I'll leave it here for prosperity. Guarding the keep!
These soldiers look barely old enough to be away from their mothers. They are not prepared for the evil that seeks to consume this keep.
Men can draw great strength from deep within themselves.
While you are drawing that great strength from within, they'll be looking to you to save them.
I cannot save this whole keep alone.
Oh, I don't know about that. My visions are filled with demons dying violently at your hands. Let's just say there is a lot of blood.
Yes, I do take pride in my craft when it comes to slaying demons repeatedly.
Nothing can save you.
Alright, so switching over to Pyrogeist I think feels a bit better for me. If I were going to use the Spider Queen, I might consider using her as another, like using up a different slot and having something else to spam. I don't know.
We must like the rest, but the demons swarm around them. No kidding. Look out!
It's just hard to say there on exactly when I would use that. If at all. I mean, again, it's just not a skill I overly care for. I have not... Yes, I need to put something into that weapon.
Blinding powder.
I will say I do like the increased attack speed, even if it's by 0.5. It's nice, it's helpful. Oh, I yearn for the day that I might be as good as you, my friend. Oh, Lyndon. Take me away into your roguish arms. Right. Looks like we got 3 abilities this time. A new Toads, a new Zombie Dog, and a Mass Confusion. Oh, and a Zombie Charger. Okay. Looks like I will be changing the whole thing up. Alright, well, let's Let's get started, shall we? So we're going to start off with a Plague of Toads. Toad Affinity. Gain 9 mana every time a toad hits an enemy, so that will help with mana concerns. That's kind of nice. So, alright. Got that. What's next? I'm going to go down the line. Let's go to secondary. So... primary, secondary. So nothing new in the secondary. So defensive is the new dog. So let's go there. Summon zombie dogs. It is Leeching Beasts. Your zombie dogs heal you for 100% of your life on hit with every attack. That is pretty nice, actually. I don't really have any life on hit, so this is going to be kind of terrible for me. But if you're building life on hit, that basically, depending upon how many dogs, like at a base level, triples your life on hit. Or is it quadruple? Because you're getting 3 dogs with 100% of your life on hit plus your own. So yeah, you're increasing it by a factor of 3, but 4 times in general, basically. You know, I'm kind of amused. I'm looking at the little animation down here and I was watching the demons just pop up and get shot down. You know, if you just sit and watch, it's like, where are all these beasts later? No, whatever. Alright, so, you know, Leeching Beast is a great skill. Really great. But at this level, I just don't really have anything for it. So that kind of sucks for me. I wonder how that works with the ring. Once again, I'm not sure. Last time it didn't combine them, so it's probably just going to get 100% of life on hit. So there are certain runes that just don't work well with it. So, alright, nothing in the secondary. We got the defensive already, so Terror. Alright, under Terror... You know, I didn't once use my healing journey. It's kind of funny. You know what, just for the sake of completeness, so I can show I showed it off. Okay, it's kind of a white color. Kind of neat. So there, you've seen it. At least it's been seen. That, you know, I haven't used it once, haven't really needed it once. Which, you know, I guess is nice. But anyway... Alright, going back, we'll go ahead and replace that with Mass Confusion. So we're going to get Mass Hallucination this time around. Amid the confusion, a giant spirit rampages through enemies, dealing 195% weapon damage per second as physical to enemies it passes through. Huh. Well, that's interesting. 195% weapon damage. Giant spirit rampages. Doesn't say how long it lasts. Is it for the full 12 seconds? Confusing them for 12 seconds? Interesting. Alright, we'll try it. Alright, moving on to Decay. I guess we're going to get rid of the Gargantuan, because I just can't... Well, I got a new dog anyway. I was going to say I don't really want to get rid of the dogs as the ring, but I got a new dog as well, so... Zombie Charger. You know what? Actually, let's replace the Acid Cloud with the Zombie Charger, because what did we get? We got Zombie Bears. Summon Zombie Bears that stampede towards your enemy. Each bear deals 392 weapon damage as poison. So each bear, right? Each bear, 392. Doesn't sound like a lot, right? 392. Normal Zombie Charger is 560. How many bears is that? 3 bears. Okay. Alright. That works for me. Okay, so 3 bears by 392. That is 1,176 damage if they all hit. That's the power I was looking for before. Now, because of that, I think I kind of want mana. Do I get rid of the Sycophants? If I wasn't too worried about these, I kind of like having that movement speed between packs. It's been making moving around kind of nice. I don't think I really need the life of my pets any higher. They've been surviving. I can weaken my dog a little bit to get Grave Injustice, to get mana. Right, because I really wanted the Zombie Bear. Spamming that is really the big thing. Of course... And I do have cooldowns, like, because otherwise, the other way I could do this is Vision Quest, right? The old Vision Quest was the way the Zombie Bears was done, right? Because the old Vision Quest was pop a bunch of cooldowns and your mana is increased, your mana regeneration is increased based on how many cooldowns you have. With this, it's just 30% flat up your increase, as long as you're using a Corpse Spider, Fireball, Plague of Toads, Poison Dart. That would really help with mana. More so probably than Grave Injustice, but it's also 1% of my maximum life. So I can get into the middle of the group of enemies and keep myself alive, keep myself going. And the cooldown reduction kind of helps with, you know, say Mass Confusion, Grasp of the Dead, especially since that hits pretty hard. I think we'll stick with Grave Injustice. The question is, do I really want to stick with the Sycophants, though? I mean, I think it works. I mean, I could easily, if I'm running into mana problems, go into Vision Quest as well. That's a thought. But I mean, with the Toad Affinity, I really don't know how it's going to go. I mean, I'm going to get 9 mana every time a Toad hits an enemy. And that's 3 Toads. Alright. Let's raise our Gargantuan. Let's get our Life Leech dog. Yeah, this will be fun. So just constantly raise bears. It's covered in bees! I mean bears! Really? Hey, buddy. How do you like bears? I like bears. Do you like bears? I love bears. I can see why so many witch doctors use this skill religiously. Like, it's not as spammy as it was, I think. They've tried to increase the number of options that witch doctors have, because let's face it, that used to be the option, was the zombie bears. And that's pretty nice, though. Stream of 3 bears, it's fairly spammable. I think they tightened up the Stampede line, because I think it used to be a lot lighter.
What in the hells was that? We've seen the fires you lit. The catapults could break Asmodan.
Worry not. The catapults shall be raised, and the demons will flee back to the hells that spawned them.
Oh, good. It was almost getting warm in that nice, cozy keep.
I know, right? We just can't have that. I like the cold. The cold never bothered me anyway. Ah. There's your reference. Enjoy it. Sorry, it's fairly fresh on my mind. I've been playing Jaina in Heroes of the Storm, and she does use that line when she gets kills sometimes.
What now?
From below, Captain.
I believe it's when she kills another Jaina.
Kill them, I'd say.
Private, if you need to be told which end of the storm goes where, you haven't been paid. Fight to your last breath, lads!
Doing okay. I mean, honestly, the Toads are returning a decent amount of mana when I need them. Kind of want to test this. Like, let's use a bunch of bears, get my mana down.
The lift is moving again. Hold steady, lads.
I'm not too bad.
Reinforcements are on their way.
Yeah, but reinforcements for who, you might ask? For the demons, not who. Right, there's Mass Confusion, and there is the little... Yep, there he is. There's that... Cool, yeah. He just sits there, he does a whole bunch of damage, he lasts, it looks like, for the full 12 seconds. That's kind of neat. I've never actually seen that one. I kind of like that. So it turns it into a mitigation spell, also damage dealer. It's a stampede! Oh, that thing. No. Okay, that's it. Time to get some confusion down. I'm gonna need to put some more Grasp of the Dead down as well. Get some damage out there. There we go. Yeah, my massive dog is not... He's not in danger. Taking the one dog off, reducing the health pool by 20% doesn't seem to be affecting him much at all. Oh, I popped that over too far.
doubted us for a moment.
Well, this is kind of neat. I mean, it's pretty much a whole new build. What stayed? The Gargantuan and the Grasp, really, are the only two skills that stayed. Treasure Goblin. Oh, Crusaders Part 6. Here we go.
Each and every Crusader was a warrior of rare strength. They had mastered the power of light, of weapon and shield, and of self. Each was sworn to live as a Crusader and to die as one. 200 years ago, they took their apprentices and set out into the eastern swamplands. They were never heard from again. Until now.
Ooh, ow, 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 oh, ow, my pride, oh, that hurt.
Transferring to Bastion.
Yeah, so I'm liking this build. I think this is working. Now, next level we will be getting another passive. We'll be getting Tribal Rites. So, reduces cooldown to Fetish Army, Voodoo, Hex, Gargantuan, wow. Mass Confusion. Whole bunch of skills getting reduced by 25%. So that one, that'll be interesting. I think I'm going to want to build around that. As we've seen mostly through this series, I don't always use the passives that it gives me. I definitely use the skills because I want to see if I can make a build out of it, or if I can justify the, justify the build. And there are times I've had to change it because sometimes they give you competing skills. But for the most part, it's worked out, and I've been able to make something work. Sometimes it's terrible, but then I can modify it further and make an actual build out of it. But I don't always choose the passive, just for the same for the main reason that not all passives are really great for the time that I get them. It happens.
Excellent. Let's protect the recruits while
Now, since I'm only getting a handful of skills pretty much at this point, building around just the skills isn't that big of a deal. Like in this level, it was a big deal because it was like 4. I mean, that was a pretty big game changer for how I'm playing. But for the other levels where I might not be getting as many skills, sometimes getting a passive can make a big difference, and so I'll probably build around that for the next one. So I got up to 54. I think I'll finish up this whole catapults thing. And then that means for the next one, because I'm pretty sure I've spent a lot of time on this one already. It's kind of hard to gauge, because honestly, I'm spending a lot of time editing stuff out. Changing the pace of things, because there's a lot of stuff I'm cutting out because I've spent so long leveling. I want to try and speed this up a little bit. So it's kind of hard to gauge sometimes when the conversation has been truly at length for what I've been trying to do these videos at. I'm trying not to make these terribly long. I've been sitting at, what, an hour, roughly? So it's hard for me to gauge whether or not this one's going to go long or short with how much I'm going to end up cutting out. Usually it's somewhere around an hour and a half of footage that I record, if not more, and I cut out quite a bit. But hey.
With the fires lit and the cattle giving us hope.
It looked like these soldiers were just sitting there having tea with the with the demons. Like, they just stood there, the demons stood there, and they were like, hey, what's up, guys? What's up? We're chilling here. There's plenty of damage to go around with this build.
The spirits grant me blessing.
While you tinkered with your pot.
Well, I got all the catapults up, and that got me right up to level 55. So, looking at level 55, we're going to get new Acid Cloud, new Spiders, and of course the passive that I talked about before. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of the Sycophants. We're going to go with the Tribal Rites. Reduce the cooldown of Fetish Army, Big Bad Voodoo, Hex, Gargantuan, Summon Zombie Dogs, Mass Confusion. It's 25%. Now, which makes me want to look at Wrathful Protector. What is that? Was it Wrathful Protector, I believe? No, Restless. No, it was Wrathful. Fight free for 15 seconds. What's the cooldown on him? 60 seconds. Half of that would be 30, so half of that would be 15. So 45 seconds, roughly, I believe, right? Bring it down to 45 seconds. That wouldn't be too bad. He lasts for 15, so 30 seconds off between being able to summon him. I'm going to go ahead and keep the Mass Confusion, I think. I think that really works out. Let's take a look at the other two, because unfortunately I got to get Corpse Spiders now. So Corpse Spiders, we're getting Blazing Spiders. Throw a jar with Fire Spiders that deal a total 700 damage as fire. So a total of 700. It's 4 spiders, so it's split amongst them. So 700 over the 4. Just go ahead and do that. 700 divided by 4. It's about 175 weapon damage per spider. But hey, 700 total. That's pretty good damage, actually. This is spammable too. It's something I might go ahead and try again. I just don't like the indirect nature of the damage, in that it doesn't really, I fire it off and I don't really do the damage, like it takes them a moment. And that's really odd coming from someone that likes pet builds, you would think. It works. It certainly works, but there's something about having a primary that is my direct damage that feels better to me at times. Now, looks like I'm going to get rid of the bears, which kind of sucks. I'm going to get Corpse Bomb. Raise a corpse from the ground that explodes for 525 weapon damage as fired to enemies in the area. That's not bad. What was that? It's not as much, but it's spammable. Just kind of show that off. It's pretty quick. It's pretty much Acid Cloud. It's just a new animation, so it looks like a new spell. It's kind of neat. But rather than do 300 and 360, you know, and spread it out, it does it all at once. But it reduces the damage because it's not doing the time. So you're basically doing a little less damage overall, but you're doing the damage. You're doing your damage up front instead of waiting. So that's pretty cool. And it's pretty good AOE. So it'll be a pretty good replacement for the bears, I think. Since we've got Tribal Rites, you know, Mass Confusion, I could definitely keep that. Especially if I click on it by accident instead of right-clicking on it. When I meant to do that, that's okay. It does reduce Hex, though, which is kind of nice, because we've looked at Hex before. Hex is very, very useful. It's an ability that I really like, especially when you combine it with, which was it? Hedge Magic, which is healing you over time. It's not too much of a cooldown since it's already 15 seconds. Let's see, about 7 seconds, and say 8, so 4 seconds off, so maybe 11 seconds roughly. Finding something that works fairly well with this. I've already got a pretty, you know, my dogs are already pretty nice. So I could easily switch the Gargantuan over to do a whole bunch of damage as a cooldown. That may not be a bad idea with this. I mean, this is another ability that really helps with, say, a Sacrifice Zombie Dog build. for getting those cooldowns down as well. And as we've seen with the new cooldown effects, it's already pretty easy to make sure that you've got all your dogs back by the time you want to use them again. So this makes it even easier. So there's a lot of good potential here. I really like the way they've changed things up since the game came out. Not that I ever got my Witch Doctor quite up this high, as we've seen, you know, did the comparison video already, deleted the old character. That's nice. Maybe I will play around with that a bit, because the dog is doing a pretty good job on his own. I've already got Mass Confusion. The thing is I don't know if I want to keep Mass Confusion or replace it with something else. Because I could easily replace it with Big Bad Voodoo or Fetish Army. And these have the really long cooldowns. Like, they'll benefit the most from something like Tribal Rites. And considering that I've already got Grave Injustice, which is already reducing cooldowns by a second when everything dies around me, that might not be too bad. I can start really reducing the cooldowns of these abilities. Right? So, 120 seconds, right? 25 seconds out, that's 30 seconds off. So it makes it 90. A minute and a half. And then I'm additionally cooling it down. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do Fetish Army. Let's see. Which one do we do? 250 weapon damage is cold. That's not bad. And they do it as they're summoned, so it's kind of like an AoE around me. That's probably the one I want to go for. What's the others? Oh, well, here we go. Can reduce the cooldown of Fetish Army to 90 seconds. So it's already 90 seconds as it is. So if we reduced it further, it would get reduced by 22 seconds, right? So it'd be a minute, 68 seconds, basically. It's every minute. I think it's going to be between Devoted Following and Fetish Ambush, because Fetish Ambush is a really nice AoE ability when I summon them. Devoted Following means I can have them up. It's kind of a pet build, so we'll do Devoted. And kind of wish I had the other passive, because then I could combine this with the Sycophants to have more of them. But I think we'll go with this. We got a pretty nice damage in the Rain of Corpses, nice damage in the Spiders as I spam those out, and then this is not bad. I don't have... I didn't mean to die. I'm going to trade this out for the Fire Dogs. This is almost a fire build. Fire Spiders, Fire Bomb, Fire Dogs when when that goes on cooldown, off cooldown again. If I were to go for a fire build, then that would definitely be getting Wrathful Protector. I just don't have... Like, this would... there we go. I'm already kind of seeing a build here for fire. And that would be Tiki Torches. There we go. Fire Doctor. Cool. Just get me Mage Fist and Cinder Coat. I'm good. Right? Is there a fire here? Is there? No, it's all physical. Physical and poison. Well, darn. Darn. I could have one skill that's not fire, right? I mean, you could do that. Question is, would you? Is there something that would be better if I were going to go for a fire build? Well, there's Engulf the Enemy and Locust that deal weapon damage as fire over 8. That would work. There you go. Fire build. Found it. Done. Done, son. That's it. Roll credits. Alright. Cool. I think this will work. As it is. As a matter of fact, I am going to play around with Wrathful Protector. Let's do this as if it was something of a fire build. Shall we? Burning Dogs. There we go. Fire, 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 fire. I am a Fire Doctor with 2 physical abilities. There we go. Okay. Time to throw our burning passions against an elite pack. Go forth, my minion. Lots of burning damage, lots of explosions. It's Diablo as if it was directed by Michael Bay. Oh, there were guys behind me. I thought I cleared this area out. Oh well. I did not! Yeah, lots of fire, lots of explosions. So far it works fairly well. What's the cooldown on that? 60 seconds? Yes, yes. Should summon him a bit more often. I'm just gonna go ahead and use him now.
Needs more time.
Yeah, I've almost got him back already. You just keep resummoning him. Maybe I should do that, actually. Oh, hello! A rainbow golem! Yes! I don't think I've had one of these on this guy yet. This is gonna be fun! Welcome to the psychedelic rainbow. Taste the flavor. Oh dear. So yeah, rainbow golems.
Hell of a fort they've got here. Get it? Hell of a... Oh, never mind.
Oh! Oh gods, that hurt, Lyndon. The Hellforge. Ah. Okay. I half want to ban him from my party for that one. Alright, so, for those who haven't seen this before, because I know at one point I did have someone that was watching that didn't actually play the game themselves. Whether or not I still have that person or other people that are the same, I apologize that I haven't gotten the Reaper. Anyway, also, this is fairly new. This is fun. This is the Whimsydale portal. I think it's basically Blizzard's attempt to get people back into Whimsyshire. Ever since Reaper of Souls came out, there's really been no reason to go. Whimsydale is a basically exact copy of Whimsyshire. It's just in goblin portal form. Oh dear. Go forth, my minion! Yeah. Wait. Which version of that do I have? Do I have Tiki Torches? Oh no, I have this shorter cooldown one, don't I? Ah, put that down, please. Thank you.
I do not have enough mana.
Yeah, still getting used to the slow attack speed, I think, is what it is. I'm used to being able to spam a bit more than I can right now. Alright, put that down.
Need more mana.
So Whimsydale, like Whimsyshire, well, there's really, you think about it, there's really not too much reason to come here because one of the big draws I think of Whimsyshire when it was first released was it was kind of one of those areas that was in between acts. Like after you beat Act 4, before you went to the next difficulty level.
I strike at your heart.
This was the place to go because if you weren't quite ready for the next difficulty, like say Torment 1, or not Torment 1, I'm sorry, Inferno, an old Inferno. Like say you weren't quite ready for that, you could in Hell mode still come back to this area, and it was usually around. Usually the items you found were around the level, just entry level into the next difficulty. So, like for example, if you came here in normal, I remember coming here in normal, and I would find items that were relevant to Nightmare difficulty. In Nightmare into Hell, I think it might not have gone up into Inferno levels. But it was kind of a nice middle ground. It was, well, let's face it, it's a level of sparkling rainbows and ponies in a grim, dark action RPG. And the joke about the game being too colorful, I suppose, is what it was. I always thought that was kind of a funny argument, but hey. I kind of like the fact that the game is quote-unquote colorful because it makes it easier to distinguish certain things. I've played grim and dark, dingy, dark, gritty games, and a lot of them have the same kind of color palette, which makes it depressing to play sometimes, and sometimes just hard to see things. But hey, that's, that's subjective. That's personal choice. Everyone's going to have their own opinions on that. So yeah, that was the joke. But there are 2 items here in Whimsyshire and now Whimsydale that you can only get in this map. And that is the Rainbow Sword, legendary, and a hamburger. Which was, no, I don't think it was a fist weapon. I think it was like an axe or a club or something like that. But it looks like a hamburger. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I want one. I don't have one. Oh, no, wait. Yes, I do. I do believe I did find one. Was it on my seasonal? It might have been on the seasonal. Because I did finally get a hamburger transmog. Oh, man, I gotta tell you, this reduced cooldown on these massive abilities is really nice. It is working out to my advantage. I'm just able to summon this guy constantly. Like, look at that. He just went back into the earth, and I've only got a few more seconds before I can summon him again. And he's like the major cooldown. And if only his cooldown was that short in Heroes of the Storm, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what! Oh, who is this? Evil Oliver? Okay. Come here, Oliver. This is great. The music here creeps me out sometimes. Like right now, playing it, not a big deal. But there have been times... I remember listening to it, and I was doing edits one night. Because on one video, I actually played this song backwards. Because that's what it is. It's the... for those who hadn't seen the video on it that I did, or other videos online... the song for Whimsyshire, Whimsydale, is... a song... a poem, a song accompaniment. For, I believe, was the Gibbet. And it's being played backwards. That's why it sounds so weird. And you can play it back forwards. And it's a pretty grim story, I believe, from what I remember. It's been a while since I read exactly what the story was about, but I remember just kind of editing the song one night. It was really dark. I was, you know, up alone, and it was like, just for some reason, it's just the way it plays just weirded me out just a little bit. Kind of odd. Well, let's see. Oh, hello. Who we got now? Who we got now? Tarask Wormboiler? What the hell? Just popping all kinds of AoE. Corpse Rain, like there's no tomorrow.
I do not have enough mana.
So I mean, yeah, if you look at the map, I mean, it pretty much is. It's Whimsyshire. Every time I've been here, it hasn't been that many times. The goblin is semi-rare. I was actually surprised to run into him. I didn't think those goblins showed up except for in adventure mode. So to actually see this in the campaign mode is kind of cool. I like it. It's a neat little distraction. Maybe the other goblins will show up, but I don't think the new goblins that are... Oh no, that's on the PTR still, I do believe, actually. My bad. Looking forward to that. Bloodshard goblins. I believe those are going to be adventure mode only. It's a shame. Sometimes I kind of get confused on which updates are up because, you know, having played PTR builds, it's like sometimes I forget, oh, is that on the PTR or is that live? Because sometimes you play on the PTR, really enjoy it, and then you're like, oh, wait, that wasn't live. It's been so long. I mean, there were some times I just didn't want to play the regular game because I knew some really good changes were coming up from the PTR. And I didn't want to play the PTR either because I knew I couldn't keep the progress. I've been in that really odd situation where you just... You want to play, but you don't want to play at the same time because it's like, man, I want the new changes. The new changes aren't out yet. Ah, that sucks. We're about to level, which is cool. Keep putting down this corpse explosion, or the rain of corpses too. That's also getting cooldown reduction. Yeah, I have to say so far I really like a little bit more faster attack at this point. Alright, let's get my cooldowns back before we get the new build. For the new level, level 56. Alright, so that was kind of fun. That was a fire build. Actually, I feel like I leveled pretty quickly this time, actually. Alright, so... Okay, new defensive ability in Horrify. A new Gargantuan. New Firebats. So that's
so grim.
Three
Isn't
abilities.
This your noble quest?
It is also hard at times, as you must know. Why do you ask?
Well, you worry me at times.
Was that sincerity? Dear sir. Alright, maybe you're no longer banned from my party. Alright, I don't want to get rid of the zombie dogs. What would I replace Horrify with? I mean, the Gargantuan's going to replace the Gargantuan. Firebats will probably replace the Acid Cloud. I guess maybe the Fetish Army? Get rid of that. Or the Rain of Corpses, maybe. Yeah, probably the Gargantuan, or the Devoted Following, maybe. Yeah, you'd think so. Alright, let's go here. Horrify. Ruthless Terror. Gain 55 mana for every horrified enemy. Okay, well, that's mana back. That works. I am using a slow attack speed build, so while I'm more efficient, because obviously if you attack slower, you're going to be using your mana less. But at the same time, well, for the Witch Doctor, it's not a big deal. For other characters, you would be generating slower too. Like, for example, Barbarians, Demon Hunters, you attack slower. Obviously, you generate slower because you have generators. Wizards and Witch Doctors are in the nice position that because mana generation and arcane power generation are independent of your attacks, it doesn't really matter. You're just pretty much, you're become more efficient with harder hitting weapons. And that's what I do like about it. I like the efficiency, but the Witch Doctor, to me, has a lot of these abilities. I just feel like I should be throwing them out there a lot. It's just fun to start throwing stuff out there. So for the Witch Doctor, it feels, to me, so far, better with faster weaponry rather than slow. He does certainly have a lot of nice hard-hitting abilities that he can use to benefit from the hard-hitting weapons. I think that's where it is. I just haven't really found the right hard-hitting build yet. I think maybe the zombies that topple over and do a lot of damage. I forget what that is. That used to be the summon zombie wall of zombies. I think it's zombie charger now, isn't it? Yeah, it is. It's pylon. That's 800. That's not bad. Okay, but at least, but even so, this is nice for the mana. Like, even if I use up a whole bunch of mana, especially since I do cast slow, I usually want to have an ability to do a bunch of damage, and sometimes I have to wait, and that will help me prevent that. Alright, so the alternate, the secondary, we're going to go from a Decay to our secondary to Firebats. So what have we got? We have Cloud of Bats. Call forth a swirl of bats that damage nearby enemies for 425 damage. As fire, the damage of the bats increases by 20% every second, up to a maximum of 100%. Oh, so it can double itself. And it is fire. It's kind of in the fire. Well, actually, Firebats is all pretty much fire, except for Plague Bats. Okay. Well, let's... Hold on. Ah, okay, yeah. It's the vortex of Firebats. And that, as you can see, is fairly efficient, too. Especially with the... I do believe it does synergize well with the two-handed weapons because it will tick slower. But 425 and a 20% increase every second, so 5 seconds later it'll start doing 850. That's pretty good. That's better than Pile On, actually, but you have to sit there and channel it. So this is something that would work well with some other defensive abilities, I think. Having Horrify... Can I cast... Here's something. Can I cast Horrify while doing that? And will it interrupt it? No! Awesome. Cool. I can get my mana back, and I can Horrify enemies around me to stop them from attacking me. So that actually is a pretty nice combination. That works pretty well. The Gargantuan is going to get Bruiser. More fire on the Gargantuan. This is the Gargantuan gains the ability to periodically slam enemies, dealing 200% of your weapon damage as fire, and stunning them for 3 seconds. Oh, that's nice. That's some nice, hard-hitting stuff, so we're finally getting into that. What else was there? There was Cloud of Bats, there was Bruiser, I think that was it, right? Those were the last 3? Yes, it was. Alright, Graven Justice, do we want that? I don't really have any cooldown abilities anymore. Well, I do. I have 8 seconds there. That's not a big deal. 12 seconds there. I'm not sure, and this music is getting to me again. Ugh. Why? Why? Alright, I'm going to do Pyrogeist, I think.
I smell treasure.
I smell creepy, nonsensical creatures. Okay. So I gotta get close. Summon my Gargantuan. I haven't actually seen this Gargantuan before. I've not, you know, obviously this being the highest I've gotten. Oh, okay, that's what he does. He slams his fist down, and that does a whole bunch of damage. Oh, well, we found the portal out. I think we've pretty much explored most of this. There's, I think, one area there. So let's do that. I don't know what level the new legendaries are. Not, well, not new, but I don't know what level the legendaries are for the sword and for the hamburger. But if there's a chance I could get it, I'd totally go for it. This is earlier than I was going to do this. I was going to kind of do Act 4 and maybe visit Whimsyshire once. But now I guess I don't have to. I don't have to go to Whimsyshire. Because now here we are in Whimsydale. You've seen it. You know it. You love it. It hits pretty hard too, doesn't it? I mean, the downside is you're very stationary when you're doing that. Do I want... Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, Horrify to get the mana. I put down the exploding corpses. Oh, they, Oh dear. I mean, it works, but I definitely think I need something...
I need mana.
What can I do to increase that? Like on a... It reminds me of the Ray of Frost on the Wizard that got this rune that turns it into a Bubble of Frost. And I kind of liked that. And there were a few... There are a few abilities you could use to make it better, like, you know, Frost Nova or something like that, because then you could channel it and then freeze. Now, something I am noticing is when I channel, like here, I'm holding Shift, which you normally would do, like if you wanted to hold stationary, you could hold Shift. I kind of noticed that if I hold Shift while doing this, I can't use my middle mouse button. I have to let go of Shift, and then I can use the middle mouse button. I don't know if that's a problem with my hardware setup, or if that's just literally a software limitation that won't allow me to use those buttons all at the same time. I'm not really sure, to be quite honest. But I wanted to show off all of Whimsydale, for those who hadn't seen it.
Of course. I was around for Belial's death, wasn't I?
Isn't killing the Lord of Sin against your principles?
Nonsense. It takes one to know one.
Oh yeah, he said that earlier, but I still like that one. And then here we are right back. So consequently, because I wanted to record that entire zone, this will be a little bit slower on the leveling front. Now, that is something I am going to do once we do get to Act 5. For anyone that kind of remembers the early episodes when I went through the early chapters prior to Reaper, prior to the Witch Doctor's reset. Oh dear. Okay, come on.
You are evil undoes you.
Come! Walk into the whirling death of Firebats! But yeah, since it's new territory, some place I haven't been, I tend to record the whole thing, the whole journey, the entire map. So once we get into Reaper, it'll be a bit slower because it'll be more about map exploration and lore than doing the different builds. So it'll be more kind of more like this video.
I am healed.
Because I went through that entire zone. Alright, I'm going to try and at least get one more level to go into. I mean, since you've seen plenty of gameplay with this. I don't really care for this right now. I mean, it hits pretty hard. I would have to rebuild, I think, around being more defensive. I don't know. I mean, I got the Bruiser. That's pretty nice. I've got the dog, obviously, because I've got the legendary for it. I mean, and that's really helpful to keep enemies off of me. I'm not sure what I would change up, because the only thing I really have to get rid of is Grasp of the Dead, and I would like to keep throwing that under me. Spirit Wall, no, because I would have to... Well, I mean, I could do that to give myself health. Maybe Hex. Hex, actually, would be good, because then I can constantly have Hedge Magic to heal me. That works. Any other cooldown like Mass Confusion to keep them off of me a little bit. I mean, I want them near me at the same time, so... Which is why I'm kind of glad Horrify got changed, because we talked about that before, where the Firebats, when I was using Firebats and I had Horrify on my bar at the same time, it made them run away. Well, now Horrify just makes them stand still in fear, which is an awesome change, because it makes Horrify so much more useful for all sorts of other builds. I really am glad they made that change. Let's, you know, maybe I'll put it on Jinx, because... Or not Jinx, but Hedge Magic. Keep me alive while I'm doing that. Since I have to stay still, there's no point in slowing the enemy. Okay, that didn't work out. I ran into a rather nasty elite pack of Soul Rippers, and let's just say I've died about 4 or 5 times. Okay, I think it was maybe like 3 or 4, but yes, many deaths were had, and that was not good. So I've switched up. I've gone back to Corpse Bomb, and back to Grasp of the Dead. And figured that'll work a bit better for me. I'm hoping. Yeah, having to stand still, and not only that, I think it was Molten and Plagued, and I also had those Frost Orbs coming at me. Yeah, I basically couldn't do it. Couldn't stand still long enough, and when I did, I got surrounded. It was a nasty pack. I might have actually been 2 packs, and ended up getting absolutely decimated. So what we find here, this is Ariat's Law. Let's just put it on so I can see what it looks like. Alright, so damage, intelligence, life after kill, chance to chill. Unfortunately not as good. Damage, toughness, both down. So it's a spear we won't be using. Oh well. Wanted to at least show off there was a legendary drop. Huzzah. So much better than what it used to be. Ah, yeah, okay, here's one of them. Illusionist. Teleporter, Molten. Okay, it must have been 2 packs then.
Irena, someday you must see the great bastion of my order. It stands astride Westmarch.
Has it ever been besieged?
Many times. And yes, it has fallen. But never for long.
It is only defeat if you surrender. Hmm?
By my faith, yes. We will rebuild 1,000 times if we must, but we will never give in.
Someday you'll be as good as me.
Level 57! Finally made it. Alright, Draining Spirit for Haunt. Did I miss something, or is there only one thing? Wow, oh, there's only one... Okay. Okay, yeah, so only one ability. That, well, that was unexpected. But we get Haunt, Draining Spirit, which the spirit returns 12 mana per second. So, that's... makes an easy choice for me, I think, to replace Horrify. Although that removes one of my defensive abilities, I do have still the Gargantuan and the Dogs. And I've got my slow on the Rain of Corpses, so I think might be fine there. Should be able to get by. I think I'm going to move these around, though, which unfortunately means I got to resummon him. There we go, yeah, level 57, only one ability gained. So not much interesting going on here, other than Azmodan doing what Azmodan do.
My servant is already inside.
Throwing out a bunch of haunts and kind of trying to see exactly how we do mana-wise if I keep spamming a bunch of stuff. I mean, the beautiful thing to keep in mind with Haunt is that Haunt will always find a new target that's nearby. So it should stay up for its duration in big groups like that. There we go, we're going to put Haunt on a few of these things. Completely miss with the Rain of Corpses. But I believe the Rain of Corpses has a much, if you look at it, has a much wider range than the actual Grasp of the Dead. Like, this has got this outer edge here, but it's dropping corpses on enemies quite a distance out. This has been one of the most versatile abilities I've had, I think. Rain of Corpses. Just because I can put out a whole bunch of damage, and I don't have to be very precise with it.
Not ready yet.
And since I've got the cooldown reduction via Grave Injustice, I can sometimes have two out at once. So using Haunt to fuel my mana as I spam a bunch of corpse bombs. It's working out. So let's go get Ghom, and I think that'll cut it for this one. Hopefully I haven't gone too long, because honestly this will be two parts from one of the previous day and today, because the last one went a little bit long.
I need mana.
Oh, not dodge to this guy. He's usually more dangerous if he's allowed to go long. With his poison filling up the room. Doesn't look like he's got any ads in this mode. Well, I must say these bosses are a much different experience on lower difficulty modes.
I need to go back.
Well, that's Ghom, unfortunately. So we'll see if anything interesting came through. Let me see. During my adventures, I got the Exalted Grand Stalker cape. A cloak with 6 properties. That's new. Okay, well I can't use cloaks, so I mean, hey. But that's kind of cool that I got something. 0.4 damage, 4.4 toughness, so we did get a belt here which has Plague of Toads on it. Not that I use that, but I will take the damage increase. Nothing. Oh, hello. Finally getting some ring upgrades. It is an upgrade to my Tall Man's Finger, but I think it's more of an upgrade to my Fierce Boon here. Both are 0.6 damage increase. This one is a 12% toughness increase, as well as a much less loss in healing. Cooldown reductions on it as well, and I can put a gem into it, so I think I like that. We'll go ahead and put that here. Get rid of that. Amulet. Oh, what else did I get? Exalted Grand Oni Blade. Blacksmith how to forge a 2-handed sword with 6 properties. Sword, 2-handed. That's later. Let's go to all. There it is. Level 60 Oni Blade. Okay, cool. What else? Amulet doesn't quite work for me. Maybe I'll get that to the Enchantress while I'm thinking about it. Alright, so I have a main hand and off hand, not using. Alright, let's see how this one hand looks. Oh, wow, 38% damage increase. For a loss of 10 toughness, I'll take it. That's a big boost. Look at that, 542. What is this? That's 56 compared to 52. Oh, look at that gold sell value, 666. That's hilarious. All right, that was a major increase. So let's go ahead and get. Oh, I should have looked at that again. I had a fire skills increase, and I'm using mostly fire right now. All right, I might actually switch over to this dagger and offhand because the difference between this polearm and the dagger offhand is only 15%, and I kind of like the increased attack speed. So I think I'm going to go with that. I think that's... yeah, I think that's the way to go. Alright. I think the only other thing to do is I'll take a quick look just to make sure there isn't anything I can craft. I'm fairly certain there isn't, and then we will call it a day on this. Oh yeah, I need to get rid of that. Alright, so, highest usable, anything... well, I just got a pretty good dagger, so... yeah, I think I'm good here. So let's look at armor. All 51, so, well, here's a 57. Alright, the one I have has more armor, but it's because it rolled with an armor slot, so let's take a look at what an upgraded one can do. Yep, damage, toughness, both increased. This one has res all, oh yes. Both of them do, but this one's better. Much better. Alright, good. Ooh, 54 chest armor. There's a good chance that this could be an increase. And it very much is. Int, vitality, locust swarm damage. Cool, I might have to go back to locust swarm. And that's an upgrade even with the 2 sockets. It is a even more, 2.2. Yeah, cool. Alright, gloves. Let me keep my gloves, because the legendary gloves, because it's got a shield, and I think I'm going to need that defense. I'm going to make one of these helmets just to see if it's any better. No, it didn't end up being any better. Alright, I have a 56 Scoundrel token. He's using a 51 that's a blue. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea to give Lyndon something new and exciting. 273 dex. Oh yeah, definitely more. Doesn't have the res all, but it has vitality, so that'll be fine. He's going up to 2971. Yeah. It drastically increases his toughness, though, which is good. Alright, that's that. I'll go ahead and show off my gear real fast. here's what we are now. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you very much for watching.